Hey guys, I'm back. I'm Samantha and I'm a therapist and I'm creating a video every day for a year in this video 329. Hope you guys had a great weekend. I can't believe I've got about 5 weeks, I think, from Tuesday and this year will be up. And I just want to reiterate yet again that I had to make a decision. Did I want to turn on a camera and talk into it at the time? No, I did not. I was terrified. And I had to say, hey, I'm going to decide to do this. And I want you guys to really think about that piece of sometimes we have to make a decision, and that's all we need to do. It could be any decision. It could be, small or large, but it's a decision that you want to change. This is like at the root foundation of everything, I believe, is that we have to be ready and willing to change. And we don't change our life until we change ourselves. And so if you don't like what your life is looking like right now, it's mirroring back to you. It's telling you, hey, knock, knock, open your eyes and check this out. We got to check ourselves before we wreck ourselves. We got to check ourselves, audit our thoughts, audit our feelings, audit our emotions, audit our beliefs, check everything to see what's not in alignment and what energy are you holding on to that's not serving you. That's the biggest question to ask yourself. What am I holding on to that might be hurting me? What thoughts are hurting me? What beliefs are hurting me? What could I let go of today? What could I just drop? A lot of times we take on responsibility for so many things that we don't need to carry. And so I'm giving you permission to drop it. You can drop it today whenever you want to. You can decide to drop things. You've got to choose yourself first. You always have to choose yourself. And you'll see exponential changes in your life when you do that. It is absolutely amazing what happens, but most people don't choose themselves. They're choosing everything outside of themselves to try to fix things. You can only change yourself. You cannot change anything outside of you or anyone outside of you. So you might as well just stop the energy leaks. It's too much. Are you exhausted? Probably. I know a lot of people that are exhausted. I was exhausted. I know what that feels like when you try to just force things to happen or you try to change people. When you make nothing any of your business except for yourself, that is freedom. So I want you to think about freedom. Where do you lack freedom in your life? And where do you have freedom already though? Because sometimes we complain about things so much that we lack the insight into the great things that we have going for us. So definitely notice what things are you holding on to that you could let go of, but also notice the great things you already have in your life. Because sometimes that negative stuff or the bad, that we define it as bad, overshadows the good so much that we aren't really living our life as fully as we could. So concentrate more. If you could do one thing like for 24 hours or even this whole week, concentrate on, hey, how many times can I catch myself complaining about something or noticing in my mind that something's not the way I want it? Or how many times can you catch yourself having a conversation with somebody in your life, in your mind? That shower conversation that you have, the arguments that you have in the shower with someone unknowingly to them. Like they don't, unbeknownst to them, they have no idea. But I'm sure they can feel the energy at some point. And so have good inner conversations with your spouse if you're having issues, or your partner, or a friend, or a colleague, or a boss. Have good conversations inside your head and watch what happens. Watch what shifts. If you're focused on things that don't make you feel good, you're going to get more of that. If you focus on things that make you feel good, you're going to get more of that. The trick is, and the reason why we don't believe, I think that actually works, is because we don't persist long enough. We don't keep it going long enough in our minds of the good stuff before that bad stuff distracts us. And good and bad, of course, are subjective. It's whatever meaning you decide to give to something is what really counts. So everything around you, you can give a meaning to, and you get to decide what the meaning is. Even if it looks like something you don't want, you can say, this must be perfectly what I need right now, exactly what I need at the perfect timing. And this is growing and shaping me into the person I'm becoming. You could say it just like that. I love saying that. I love saying everything is for my benefit. Every day I'm getting better and better. I love to say that one too. Every day I'm getting better and better because I really feel that way. But guess what? I had to program that in myself. I didn't feel that way every day over the years. There ain't no way I felt that way. I mean, I had to do an overhaul of myself completely. I was like, this is not working. This is ridiculous. That's what I started feeling. I was like, this is insanity. I should be feeling so much better all the time. And most of the time I felt pretty good, but there were still those times that I would allow my emotions to take me over. And I've seen so many people that are on that roller coaster, and we want to feel really good baseline, we can do that. It requires a shift, very gentle, small shift in consciousness to be able to do that and become aware of the things that you're not aware of right now, which might be, you're more aware of the complaining. And I do have something from Esther Hicks. I think this was one of the emails I copied in my notes. It says, complaining about, and really think about this. This got me and always has gotten me. Complaining about anything holds you in the place of refusing to receive the things you've been asking for. That's the first sentence. Complaining about anything holds you in the place of refusing to receive the things you've been asking for. So if you're focused on asking for something and then you start complaining, you're basically pushing that away. So I want you to think of it like that. Like you're holding a door closed. Somebody's trying to get in, like your desires are trying to push through that door, and you're like, nope, and your foot's in the door, like holding it, and your hand's pushed up against the door, and all your weight's on it. It's not letting it in because you're complaining. That energy of complaining is there. That's the mental state of complaint. Look at it like that. Complaining, we could call scarcity or lack mindset. We could call it that if we want to. Justifying about anything holds you in the place of refusing to let in the very things that you've been asking for. That's another one too. We justify things. We explain things away, give reasons why this is that way. And, we don't need to justify anything. Blaming someone holds you in the place of refusing to let in the things you've been asking for. So there's that. Are these things valid? When we say, this sucks, I hate this, I don't like this person did this, all those things are valid. We have to remember and honor our beliefs and our thoughts and feelings. We have to honor them first, acknowledge them, validate them. But we also have to have that talk with ourselves and say, am I ready? Am I really ready to change? Am I really ready to let in what I'm wanting? Because if we are, we would not be complaining, justifying, and blaming. So think of it that way. That's the shift there. It's like, how bad do I really want this life that I'm saying I want? And then that's when we have to start training our minds to go a different way. Feeling guilty, feeling angry. It doesn't matter what you call it. It is a refusal, not a conscious one. It's not consciously that we're doing this, because all these are unconscious things that we've learned, the patterns over the years that we've learned. So we have to remember that this is all programmed. So this is why we feel this way and think this way, because we practice that so much. What if we practiced only focusing on the desires? How amazing would life be? You're probably not doing so terrible so far, but what if we could do a lot better, We're feeling good, and then we're getting everything we're wanting at the same time. How amazing is that? That would be amazing. You're asking. You can't help but ask. The universe is yielding. It must yield. It's a big question, folks. Why aren't you letting it in? So that is a big question, isn't it? And I would say that one of the reasons that things aren't coming in too is we are suspending our enjoyment and celebration until we get that big win, when we could feel happy and excited now without the thing. Remember, there's no there. This is there right now. We're already there. So if you're already there, then you've got to create that mental state. You got to decide, like I decided to turn on the dang camera. You got to decide, I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to blame. I'm not going to justify anymore. I'm not going to feel angry. I'm not going to feel guilty. I'm going to let go of these things that are hurting me, that are keeping me from celebrating the life that I have currently and the things that I've done in my life. What are your accomplishments? Maybe you got out of bed every day. That's awesome. Maybe you showered. Maybe you brushed your teeth twice a day, which I highly recommend, as you know. Maybe you ate healthy every day. Maybe you exercised every day. Maybe you did none of those things. You stayed in bed, but you opened your eyes. Hey, that's good. You're awake. You're alive. That's great. Celebrate the little things. I'm serious. Like every little thing that you do, and especially the things that you have trouble doing, and you get done with them and you're like, wow, that was awesome. You did a great job. Tell yourself you did a great job. Do not suspend your happiness waiting on when I get that thing, I'm going to feel good. Don't do that to yourself, because your point of attraction of everything starts right now. And that's the there. When I get there, I'm going to feel this. I've heard so many people be like, man, when this is over, I'm going to feel so relaxed and so great. And I'm like, no, you got to feel relaxed now. You got to practice it now. You don't deserve to wait to feel good. And you got to suspend your disbelief too in all this. That's another thing you have to decide. You get to decide what you believe. Think about that. You got to let that sink in. You get to decide what you believe. It doesn't matter what you believed 5 seconds ago. You can change your belief right now, and you can change your thoughts right now too, which will change your feelings, which will change your behaviors and habits and all that stuff. Decide who you want to be and act like you're already that person. That is like probably the best thing I've ever done. I was doing that when I was a kid and I didn't even know it. I would think about things that I wanted. I would create these, what I would call vision boards, but they really weren't. I'd cut out pictures of the toys I wanted from Santa. I remember doing that a lot. And I would cut these pictures out and I would wake up early in the morning and just stare at them. And I got all of them. And it's just crazy how that was happening back then, but I knew that I was magical. I could feel it. I could just feel that energy. And then I always knew that that was in me. That's been in you forever too. You have that same magic in you. You just have to use it. And all the distractions around you are keeping you from that. They're keeping you from just, all you could do is let your foot off the door and take your take your hand off the door, take your weight off the door, open the door. Like it's ready for you. It's that close. It's right here, right now. But if we're blaming, complaining, feeling guilty, all those things, we could decide to let those go anytime. And if we are feeling those ways, then we need to use that as an indication. Hey, I've got to start thinking different thoughts right now. Because when you do that so much, you're going to practice that feeling so much that your brain and body are going to get used to thinking that way. And then you're going to look back, as you do that, your identity will shift into this new self number 2, as we call it. And you're going to look back at how you were, and you're going to be almost disgusted. I don't know. That's probably not a good word, but I could look back and be like, whoa, I'm completely different than I was even a year ago. Completely different. I don't know if anyone can tell, but I feel different inside. And that's how I know that I've changed. So decide you're going to change, and never suspend your happiness based on you've accomplished so much already. It does not matter that you haven't accomplished certain things yet. Be happy now about it. Be happy on your way to those things. That's the goal. It's not like we think we're going to feel good when we have something, but when you get it, then it's going to lose its luster after a little while. Everything does. And it'll feel good, but you'll still go back to yourself. I'm not going to say you take yourself with you. You drag yourself with you everywhere you go. You drag yourself. And so you're always going to be with yourself. So as Neville said, there's nothing to change but self. And it makes so much sense because you're thinking from the same mind everywhere you go. So something on the outside is going to be short-lived to make you feel a certain way. Even a marriage, even a house, even a child, even a career that you love, anything, a boat, whatever it is. They're fun. All those things are fun. They're great, but you still are going to be alone most of your life with your thoughts. So we gotta make sure that our thoughts are where we want them to be. And that just takes practice. It takes that conscious effort to acknowledge, hey, this thought is not serving me. What do I prefer to think? So also think about, what are you waiting to do in your life that you're not doing yet? Because some of these things, these feelings, come from avoiding being your true self and expressing your true self. So think about that too, because that can make you grouchy if you're just not being yourself authentically. And that includes maybe hobbies that you've put on the back burner, or doing things you don't want to do, or saying yes when you really want to say no to things, not showing up for yourself, not keeping the promises you make to yourself. All of those things can show up. And then that stuff can turn into chronic pain and chronic health issues, and which we'll get into that kind of stuff too in future videos, because I love talking about the mind and body connection too. But check all your, like if you have pain, it's resistance to the natural self. So what does the natural self mean for you? Who are you naturally, just authentically? Who are you truly before we put on this mask that we were taught to put on long time ago? So really think about these things. Let's see. I think that's about all I wanted to go into today. Yeah. And just one more thing, that this moment is enough. So be very present in this moment and enjoy this moment. This is your life. Right now is your life. And every moment is a new now. And that's your life. It's just unfolding every moment. And you get to decide what thoughts you think. So take back the reins of your brain, and don't let it gallop away on its own. You can control it with the reins. You got to say, hey, we're gonna go this way today. That way does not work anymore. If you're not feeling good, the way that you've been doing things hadn't been working. It's almost like you've developed a business plan, and the business plan didn't go to plan. It just wasn't a good business plan. It just didn't work out. So now we got to come up with a new business plan. And so that's what you're doing every day. You're like evaluating and auditing, saying, hey, how'd I do today? Measure yourself, measure your progress. Say, hey, did I get rid of one of those limiting beliefs today? And did I replace it with something else, with its opposite maybe? And try this one little technique too, where you can write down a limiting belief, and then underneath it you can put, in the past I used to believe this, but now I believe this instead, and turn it into the belief that you'd like to believe. And I think Neville had I remember when I used to think this way, but now I think this way. It's just subtle shifts in the way you speak to yourself, because you're always speaking to yourself. So watch those inner conversations with yourself, that inner monologue you got going on, and check yourself. So keep practicing. I'll be here with you every step of the way. And thank you guys so much for listening. As always, if this helped you in any way, please share it with somebody who might benefit from this information. Remember, you're so loved. Please pass it on to somebody who needs to hear it. And remember to appreciate yourself, because what you appreciate appreciates. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.